Smell what the Rock is cooking. The Rock says, the Rock says, the Rock says, the Rock. They talk to me. You got your rules and your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your faith. I have a voice that is my savior, hates to love and loves to hate. I have a voice that has the knowledge and the power to your fate. I hear voices crying, I see heroes dying, I taste blood that's trying, I feel tension rising. I hear voices.
Hello and welcome to the WWE/NXT Wrestling Talk Show with Reese Rock Jones and
Sean Randy Smith as we bring you NXT Great American Bash Night 1 and Night 2 from the WWE Performance Center.
actually Tulsa University.
Okay. Makes a change, I suppose.
Well, that's where all of NXT shows have come from, but in any event, NXT had a 2-week show over Great American Bash, which was their response to another company having a 2-week show called Fighter Fest.
So in any event,
We have 12 matches in total over the 2 nights.
yes.
So let's start with night 1 on the 1st of July.
It was a fatal 4-way number one contenders elimination match, and it was between Tegan Knox, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Mia Yim.
So winner of this match would go on to become the number 1 contender for Io Shirai's NXT Women's Championship. And the ultimate winner of that match would be Wales' own Tegan Knox. Thank you very much.
So she will now go on to face Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship on this upcoming episode of NXT.
On July 15th, which will probably be used as a way to probably build to a match, whatever match at the takeover, which will take place before SummerSlam. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully, but we'll see what happens with that.
Timothy Thatcher would then take on Oney Lorcan.
Now, prior to this match, both individuals do not like one another.
Well, that goes without saying. But really, there was only one logical winner.
And that was
Timothy Thatcher, who seems to be getting a few wins under his belt and maybe in a slight line for the North American Championship, depending on what they do with that, which we will get to in a moment.
yes. Now, going on to a first for NXT, an intergender handicap match with a stipulation, as Rhea Ripley took on the Robert Stone brand in Robert Stone and Aliyah on the condition if Rhea Ripley loses this match, then she must join the Robert Stone brand.
Yes, what have they been doing with Rhea Ripley since losing the NXT Women's Championship?
Putting her in stand by this, it seems.
Thankfully, Rhea Ripley will not have to join the Robert Stone brand,
as she beat both Aliyah and Robert Stone with a double submission.
Now, for the past few weeks leading up to this show, Roderick Strong has done what he can to run away from Dexter Lumis,
aka Samuel Shaw from another company who must not be named.
However, at Takeover, what I'm talking about, Great American Bash Night 1, there was no running because the two would face off in a strap match.
First for NXT.
And I don't think it will come to a surprise to anyone that Dexter Lumis would win this match.
No, not really, to be honest.
Since the writing seems to be on the wall that the Undisputed Era's time in NXT is coming to an end.
It is pretty much.
And that certain people like Dexter Lumis seem to be the future of NXT. No pun intended.
So now we move on to the main event of night 1, as the NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai
would take on one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions in Sasha Banks,
who would arrive to the arena not only with Bayley but with her dog and in a Jaguar XKR convertible, shades of her entrance at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn from years ago.
Now, if I remember correctly, this whole thing was put together the week before when Bayley and Sasha were in NXT defending the Women's Tag Team titles
against Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Knox.
Yes, and after the match, when they kind of continued the assault, it was Io Shirai who showed up and basically told them to get the hell out of the ring.
Io Shirai would take exception to that and attack, say, Sasha Banks and Bayley,
which would lead to this match. And of course, Sasha Banks and Bayley are allowed to appear on NXT due to stipulations that go with the Women's Tag Team titles.
Yes.
But after a very good match,
would you stress the word a very good match?
It was ultimately Io Shirai with a little bit of assistance from Asuka,
her fellow countrywoman,
who would green mist Sasha Banks into her face.
Who is the one contender for the Raw Women's Championship
at the Horror Show at Extreme Rules, but we'll get into that next week.
Yes. The winner of the match was the NXT Women's Champion, Io Shirai.
Yes, so night 1 we had Tegan Knox become number 1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship.
We had Timothy Thatcher defeat Monley Lorcan.
Rhea Ripley would defeat Aliyah and Robert Strong.
Robert Stone, but okay.
Let's say Strong, not Stone, yeah. Speaking of Stone,
yes,
Dexter Lumis would defeat Roderick Strong.
There you go.
In a strap match.
And Io Shirai would beat Sasha Banks.
And night 2 had let's just say, a big main event, but we'll get to that momentarily.
So night one kicked off with Tony Nese taking on Jobber, basically, in Leon Ruff.
Yes, so that was a dark match, probably likely to air on a future episode of NXT.
Yes, but onto a match that was aired that happened events after night one.
Yes. What is it with these companies having superstars pull double duty?
I don't know.
Candice LeRae taking on Mia Yim in a
backstage between the two of them.
in a street fight.
Yes,
And
street fight.
And the winner of this match would be Candice LeRae, who, similar to Bayley in a way, has been doing wonders ever since turning heel.
It seems to be that way, it seems. Now, on to a return that my colleague doesn't know much about this superstar as of it's Bronson Reed, who was in NXT as it went into a live with the talent show phase, as he took on Tony Nese.
Yes, and Tony Nese, who is a cruiserweight,
And a former cruiserweight champion.
is now on the losing side of it. In what was a sense, kind of halfway a squash match.
Pretty much.
Now,
But winner of the match was Bronson Reed.
yes. Now, we've had Mrs. Gargano, aka Candice LeRae, in action. Now it's time to have Mr. Gargano in action. When Johnny Gargano went one-on-one with Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Yes.
And would ultimately defeat Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which he kind of needed after the past few weeks. Johnny Gargano's heel turn has been a bit
Off the rails.
iffy. His wife has had more success as a heel than he has recently.
Pretty much.
Now, after becoming the NXT Cruiserweight Champion, or at least part-time Cruiserweight Champion, a certain NXT superstar would take his mask off
Reveal itself as Santos Escobar.
and he and Velesta Fantasma would take on the team of Breezango
Not long reunited after Fandango was injured.
and Drake Maverick.
As WrestleTalk would normally say, Drake Maverick.
Who, yes, I know what you're thinking. Drake Maverick was part of the,
Scorpions.
I was going to say part of the people who were released in April. But then again, so was Heath Slater.
But look what happened on this past episode of Monday Night Raw.
Yes, but unlike Slater, Maverick seems to have re-signed.
Yes.
But in any event, the winners of this match were
Santos Escobar, Walking Wild, and Raul Mendoza.
in other words, the team of Phantasma. So we have another women's squash match.
As Mercedes Martinez took on Santana Garrett.
In 2.5 minutes.
Now, you may have heard us mention about a big main event. Well, here it comes now.
Yes, this goes all the way back to the June 24th episode of NXT, when William Regal revealed that Keith Lee would defend the North American Championship in a triple threat match against Johnny Gargano, and Finn Balor, and the winner of that match would face Adam Cole on the July 8th episode of NXT in a champion versus champion winner takes all match.
Pretty much.
Keith Lee would win this triple threat match to set up Keith Lee versus Adam Cole.
Now, this match was unbelievable.
Yes, hard-hitting action right from the opening bell. This match was kind of spoiled ahead of time due to a certain developmental talent posting a picture on social media. Oops. But that did not stop how many people tuning into NXT?
900,000.
Probably just to see if what they saw on social media was correct and whether Adam Cole would make history by becoming the first two-time North American champion, or whether NXT would bask in the glory of Keith Lee.
But the winner of the match and making history is...
Well, let's go through the last couple of minutes of the match first.
Okay.
So, Adam Cole would hit the last shot onto Keith Lee.
For a 2 count.
On a 2 count. As he was going for a second one, he was caught into a thunderous clothesline.
What do you mean, thunderous?
Almost JBL quality.
Pretty much.
Then Adam Cole managed to hit the Palmer Sunrise onto Lee for yet another close 2 count.
Yeah.
But then Adam Cole would hit another last shot and would go up to the rope for an attempted second Palmer Sunrise.
Yep.
Except he was caught into a Spirit Bomb by Keith Lee. And a Big Bang Catastrophe, which would be a 1, 2, 3. The winner of the match and North American champion and new NXT champion Keith Lee.
Bask in his glory.
This
Lee has won the NXT Championship and retained the NXT North American Championship.
thus ending the year-plus reign of Adam Cole.
Baby.
The one question that does remain here is what do they do with the NXT North American Championship? Does Keith Lee hold on to both championships for a while, or do they do a Ultimate Warrior situation where he gives up the North American Championship and keeps the NXT Championship?
The time will tell.
We'll probably get a closer answer to that on this upcoming week's episode of NXT. So, let's quickly go through the results of both nights again.
Yes.
Tegan Knox defeated Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Mia Yim in a fatal 4-way elimination match to become number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship.
Timothy Thatcher defeated Oney Lorcan.
Rhea Ripley defeated Aliyah and Robert Stone in a handicap match to avoid joining the Robert Stone's brand.
Dexter Lumis defeated Roderick Strong in the first ever NXT strap match.
And Io Shirai, with a little bit of help from Asuka, defeated Sasha Banks. Those all took place on night 1. On night 2, Candice LeRae defeated Mia Yim in a street fight.
Yes, and Bronson Reed defeated Tony Nese.
Johnny Gargano defeated Isaiah Swerve Scott.
El Hijo del Fantasma of Santos Escobar, Joaquimon, and Raul Mendoza beat Drake Maverick and Breezango.
In a squash match,
Yes.
Mercedes Martinez defeated Santana Garrett, and to become the first double singles champion in NXT history, NXT North American champion Keith Lee defeated Adam Cole to retain the North American championship and win the NXT championship.
So join us next week as we bring you the horror show Extreme Rules.
Yes, we know it sounds like something that should happen in October, not July.
But it's going to be everywhere what you expect. So join us next week for that. But until then, he's been
Wasteful Rock Jones, and he's been
Sean Francis Smith. We will see you next week for our Extreme Rules pre-show.